Hi, I'm Senator Malcolm Roberts and I'm in Maryborough, Queensland, with the One Nation candidate for the state seat of Maryborough next election, which is next month, and that's Sharon Lohse. Now, Sharon was born and raised and educated in Maryborough and has property here in Maryborough electorate. And your husband was is third generation in this area.
Yes, on our property. Yes.
Okay, so tell us a bit more about yourself. You're a mother of three.
Yes, so we're graziers in the southwestern area of the electorate of Maryborough. I homeschooled my children, my three children and now adults, through distance education. It is through my work with my children, educating them, and also through the work of on our grazing property that took me on the journey that I'm now on as a candidate for One Nation.
You were a member of the Board of Property Rights of Australia, and
Yes.
you also had issues about the stealing of your rights to use your land.
Yes, so where I became involved in property rights was through an issue where the state government is taking grazing leases over and designating them to national park. The state government is wanting to increase the percentage of national park estate in Queensland, and our grazing property was captured in that land takeover. So in the early 2000s, that's when I became involved in Property Rights Australia and consequently on the board for several years, and I am at the moment. It was in 2016 that I became involved with One Nation due to the struggles I had getting state politicians, and then I went to federal politicians to get them to recognise the issues of property rights. It wasn't until I sent an email to yourself and to Senator Pauline Hanson's office, and I consequently got a meeting with Senator Hanson pretty much within 2 weeks of sending the email, that I started following One Nation. I became a member because One Nation is addressing the issues of property rights and stolen property rights on freehold land in particular. And none of the other parties want to recognise the importance of how that is undermining the security of our agricultural industries, and then that just snowballs onto our local manufacturing and everything that supports those agricultural industries. So even in regional towns, they are totally dependent on what happens from the ground up. You know, our essential needs, water, our agriculture, and property rights undermines all that, because people are not going to invest in their properties if they don't have longevity and security of land.
And what I love about Sharon, one of the things I love about Sharon is that she listens to people and goes out there and connects with the facts. She gets her data. She gets the data and puts her case forward, and she's like a bulldog. So she just does not give in. She just persists and persists and persists, just like that redhead we know, Pauline Hanson. And that she'll be fighting for everyone in this electorate. She's fought for people outside the electorate as well in terms of property rights access. So you've done a first-class job, and she will do a first-class job for Maryborough. So what are some of the issues that you will have to take up if you get into the state election?
Well, one of the key issues in Maryborough is the unemployment, joblessness, but more so in our youth, in that high school age to early 20s. Mm-hmm. And what we have to do is engage these youth. They're turning to crime, they're idle. Everybody knows that kids have to have a challenge, they have to be occupied. Our nucleus family is falling apart from social issues and from the impact of tax. We've got two parents having to go out and maintain a living. Mm-hmm. So we have to address one, the youth crime. We have to make sentences stronger, enforce sentences. We've got to strengthen our magistrate courts, and the other way of dealing it is proactively. So what I'd been looking at is a joint sister partnership between Hard Yakka, Oz Adventures Hard Yakka program, which is
great results.
Which is a military-style training. It's user pay at the moment, and it's only 12 days. When it was a pilot program, when LNP funded it back in 2014, 2015, it was a 28-day program. Now, we spoke with Bob Davis yesterday, and the success of the program, he has 92 to 97% success rate, but to really give the full program that will secure the youth in the right respectful frame of mind going forward into then the next stage, the TAFE, or engaging back into high school, we have to extend it to that 28-day program. So this hard yakka program needs to be assisted, funded by state government, and then that takes me to our TAFE. At the moment, children in Maryborough, students in Maryborough in high school, cannot access a campus because all our ag colleges in Queensland have been closed by Labor. There is school children already caught up in not uncompleted certificate ag courses, Cert 2, 3 and 4, and rural operation courses. Now if we're going to get our cost of living down, we have to produce more food, not less. The population is growing, so we have to have more food, not less. Now, if we don't have the next generation of workers coming into agriculture, how are we going to sustain food production? It is in particular to Maryborough. It was very strong in cane, very strong in the timber industry, and very strong in small crops. Pineapples are quite prevalent in Maryborough. We have to entice our kids at that age when they're learning and wanting to go out and do things, which is in those early high school years. So we have to have that available to them to work in horticulture. This closed campus is 200 acres. It's got amazing facilities throughout. We need to reopen these stranded assets that are costing, in this case, just over $500,000 a year in maintenance. What a waste of money.
And you can see her focus. She doesn't think that training and education is just going to come in and fix the problem. She wants to focus on the basics, which is the cost of living, cost of energy, which is now the highest in the world for electricity. You want to focus on water. You want to focus on the rights to access and use land by farmers.
Yes.
These are the basics that will make sure that food prices don't rise, that we keep a lid on standard of living and actually reduce standard of living. Cost of living, sorry. We want to improve standard of living by reducing the cost of living. So Sharon very much gets the basics right and builds on that. And that's what I've seen her do in her business. You've run small business. You are a small business. And so that's what we want to get back to basics. So good luck in your campaign. It's wonderful to have you running with One Nation, and all the best.
Thank you.